Today, we're taking a look at both of the new LRs coming for the 7th anniversary of Dokkan Battle. We'll be looking at what they can do, what their banner should look like, which one is better, and ultimately my thoughts on these units after having 5 months of actual in-game using experience. Let's dive in. First off, we're starting with the Super Saiyan Gods. They are a beyond Super Saiyan lead. This is an entirely new category introduced into Dokkan for the 7th anniversary of the game. Or they also boost movie heroes. Category Q plus 3, HP attack and defense 170, but they also give their sort of 200% leader ability to the Kamehameha category. So if they are in beyond Super Saiyan or movie heroes and Kamehameha, they're getting a 200% HP attack and defense buff while using the Super Saiyan Gods as the lead. Their 12 to 17 key raises attack and defense and causes colossal damage to enemy, while their 18 key and above raises attack and defense and causes mega colossal damage to enemy. The exact same. They infinitely raise their attack and defense when in their base Super Saiyan God state. They have an entrance animation no matter what. There are no requirements to that. They guard all attacks within the same turn from the start of turns. So the very first turn, their guard is activated. Attack and defense plus 77% and key plus 1 per type key sphere obtained for 7 turns from the start of turn. Attack and defense plus 120% plus an additional key plus 1 per type key sphere obtained. Chance of performing a critical hit plus 7% per rainbow key sphere obtained, and launches an additional super attack when key is 20 or more. Attacks effective against all types when key is 24. So if you didn't pick up on that, they get a ton of key for the first 7 turns. You are literally getting, even on type neutral orbs, 3 key from any key sphere for the first 7 turns. And they have some of the best transformation conditions in the game. You can literally transform them starting from the 4th turn, no matter what. No HP restriction, no character restriction. 4 turns and boom, you can transform them when you decide you want to. Now, once transformed, they do change just a little bit. Their 12 and 18 keys no longer infinitely raise their attack and defense. Instead, their 12 to 17 key greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to enemy. Their 18 key and above massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to enemy. And they also disable enemies action once within the turn. That is their sort of new mechanic where they will nullify one of the actions following the super attack from the enemy that you are fighting. Their passive now becomes attack and defense plus 177% plus an additional key plus 2 per type key sphere obtained. So they're basically doing what they did pre-transform, just now there is no turn restriction on it. Chance of performing a critical hit and chance of evading enemy attacks, including super attack, plus 7% per rainbow key sphere obtained. Attacks effective against all types when key is 16 or more. Launches an additional super attack when key is 20 or more. Medium chance of performing a critical hit. Medium chance of evading enemies attack, including super attack. And they also have an active, which I love the condition for. Their active is their Gogeta Blue active, which of course we all love. It's incredible. It causes ultimate damage to enemy and all attacks become critical hits for that turn. And it can be activated when your HP is 50% or less, or the enemy's HP is 50% or less. These year 7 units are built to be like finishing units. And of course, if you're finding this video helpful, enjoying it, all those things, hit that like button and consider subscribing today.
Trying to hit 750,000 this month.
Please! Now, moving over to the Super Saiyan 4s, we finally and officially will have a fused fighters category in the game. That is combining both the fusion dance and the Batara fusions all into one singular category, which is something we've been asking for years now. They also boost GT heroes. This is category key plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 170%, plus their additional 30% to HP attack and defense if they are also in the Kamehameha category. Now, what you will notice if you haven't paid attention to these units, both of their kits are so similar. So 12 to 17 key when you're Super Saiyan 4 pre-fusion into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta raises attack and defense and causes colossal damage to enemy. Their 18 key and above raises attack and defense and causes mega colossal damage to enemy. They also have an entrance animation that has no requirements. It just happens. They guard all attacks within the same turn from the start of turn. Attack and defense plus 77% and key plus 1 per type key sphere obtained for 7 turns from the start of turn. Attack and defense plus 120% and plus an additional key plus 1 per type key sphere obtained. Chance to perform a critical hit plus 7% per rainbow key sphere obtained, and launches an additional super attack when key is 20 or more, and attacks effective against all types when key is 24. Then you can use their active ability to fuse into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta starting from the 4th turn. If you didn't notice, their passives, their supers all feel very, very similar to that of the Super Saiyan Gods. Once you transform into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, exactly like the God, you do lose that sort of infinite stacking ability within their 12 and 18 keys. So 12 to 17 key greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to enemy. 18 key and above massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to enemy and disables enemy action once within turn. So again, that same mechanic where you're going to nullify one of their actions options post super attack within that rotation. Passive then becomes attack and defense plus 177%, plus an additional key +2 per type key sphere obtained, chance of performing a critical hit, and reduces damage received by 7% per rainbow key sphere obtained. Attacks effective against all types, medium chance of performing a critical hit, high chance of launching an additional super attack, and high chance of evading enemy super attack and countering with tremendous power. So that is one of the biggest differences between the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and the Super Saiyan Blues, is that you actually have that ability to counter super attacks with Gogeta that you just don't have with the Super Saiyan Blues. The active ability on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is exactly the same requirements as the Super Saiyan Blues. Can be activated when HP is 50% or less, or when facing only one enemy whose HP is 50% or less as well. And of course, if you're newer to the game or just starting and you need to know the terminology here, when it says high chance of evading enemy super attack and countering, that means a 50% chance. So high chance equates to 50%, medium chance equates to 30%. And then of course, if you're curious about great chance like AGL UI Goku, that is a 70% chance to dodge. Now let's take a look at the banners. So this right here is how the Super Saiyan Gods banner looked on the JP side of the game. And while it is a very solid banner, Buhan still very good unit, Final Form Frieza still very good unit, sorry, full power Final Form Frieza, and of course AGL UI. All these units have aged due to just how insane the year 7 units are. And fortunately enough, on the global side, you already actually have the Ginyu. So Ginyu is very close to the year 7 units. I wouldn't say quite as good. He just doesn't do as much stuff, but he definitely closes that gap a little bit more. But as far as comparing the year 7s to literally anything below them, it's just insane how much leagues better they are. So even though something like UI, Full Power, Buhan, all of these are really good units, once you get to here, it's kind of questionable. The year 3 LRs will get an Extreme Z Awaken during the year 7 celebration, and while they are pretty good, the thing that isn't comparable here is that when you come over to the SSJ4 banner, you have the Super Saiyan 4s. They also Extreme Z Awaken, and they are substantially better than the year 3 units. Plus, this banner also has the Intelligence Vegeta year 3 unit, which is the better of the two, if you ask me personally. So when you come back over here and we look at this, everything up above Buhan, as well as the year 3 Gogeta, again, nothing to just throw away, still very good. It's just when you're trying to determine where you want to spend your stones. And at the end of the day, I will say it's really up to you. Do you like Super Saiyan Gods and Super Saiyan Blues and Gogeta Blue active skill more than the Super Saiyan 4s? They go for the Super Saiyan Gods ultimately. But if you're trying to just look at what is going to be the better value for stones, the Super Saiyan 4 banner is just substantially better, because then when you go even deeper, the year 5 LRs are fun. I do still love them, but they are so much worse than their counterpart on this banner, which is the Super Saiyan 4s. Then you have the GT Goku and the GT Vegeta, which fit on the Super Saiyan 4's category, and the Goku being fully getting the 200% leader ability because he's in Kamehameha and GT Heroes. So these are those slots, but the slots over here are these very old Super Saiyan 3 and Majin Vegeta. They're just not really comparable at all. But then the buff over here is that you get UI over Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, who just continues to kind of sort of show his age. I still do like that unit, but he's just substantially showing his age. And then if you take a look at the banner units with Sen Shinron and then the STR Broly, neither of them are bad by any means, but the Sen Shinron is just a substantially better unit overall than the STR Broly. So if you had to ask me what my opinion on the two banners are, I definitely think if you're just looking for pure value, you don't care, you just want one of the year 7 units, then I say go all in on the Super Saiyan 4 banner, especially if you are missing things like year 3 Intelligence Vegeta, if you're missing things like year 4 LR SSJ4 Vegeta or year 4 LR SSJ4 Goku. This banner seems like a much more of a no-brainer to me. And even though this Intelligence Goku has already kind of aged some, which feels crazy to say, but he definitely has, he's still really good. Like, you can't really go wrong. But over here, there's a lot of units that you're going to be really not happy about pulling. Like, I think the only thing on this banner that you might be kind of sad you pulled, maybe Intelligence SSBE Vegeta, you know, but like if you're missing any of the others, and even the Intelligence SSBE Vegeta, like honestly not a bad thing. But if you are really a stickler for wanting to beat a lot of hard content, because those year 5s, while a ton of fun, they just cannot pop into red zone at all. So my final pick, SSJ4s, is the better banner. But at the end of the day, this is a game, you're playing a game, you want to use your favorite characters. You want the Super Saiyan Blues with Gogeta, I'd go Super Saiyan Blues with Gogeta active skill. If you love Super Saiyan 4s, then bro, you already know what to do. And the fun part. Which one is the better unit, especially after me having been able to use them for the last 5 months? They're both really good. This is probably what I would say is the closest for banner anniversary units we've maybe ever seen, ever. I think the year 5s were a lot closer than a lot of people gave them credit for. Year 6, even as much as I wanted to fight for the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, it was very clear UI was the better choice. But in the case of these two units, after you just heard me talk about their kits and everything else, they are so incredibly similar. They do so many of the exact same things, from active abilities being basically the exact same thing, transformations being almost the exact same thing. You do have the counter with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that you do not have with the Super Saiyan Blues. That does come in clutch quite often, and that counter has a 50% chance to happen versus the Super Saiyan Blues 30% chance of just purely evading. But the difference here is that counter is only going to work on a super attack, whereas the Super Saiyan Blues have a 30% chance to dodge basics, dodge supers, all of it. So that's kind of sort of the give and take there. The one thing to note that I haven't mentioned yet, but when they transform the Super Saiyan Gods to Super Saiyan Blues and the Super Saiyan 4s to Gogeta, their link set does not change. So if you bring your leader of the Super Saiyan 4s and you bring a friend and you keep one as a Super Saiyan 4 duo and one as a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, they activate all 7 links for both units. It's awesome. Same thing with the Super Saiyan Gods to Super Saiyan Blues. You transform one, leave the other in the base for as long as you want, and you got all 7 links activated. It is dope. And so at the end of the day, when it comes down to just purely trying to decide between the two units and taking account from the banners and all of that, it really is just a preference. Do you want to run Beyond Super Saiyan with the Super Saiyan Gods? Do you want to run a Fused Fighters team with the Super Saiyan 4s? Like, those are the sort of deciding factors. And as someone who's ran both teams, it's a lot of the same characters for one, and for two, they're just so similar that I can't imagine someone actually trying to decide between the two. But I will say, as much as I love DBS Broly and everything from that film, if you made me choose which one I think is my favorite, I do think I side with the Super Saiyan 4s and the Gogeta. But I think that's just more of a preference because we're actually getting to transform and stay as a Gogeta unit, as opposed to with the Super Saiyan Gods and Super Saiyan Blues. Gogeta Blue is just a pure active skill. You don't actually get to stay fused as Gogeta Blue. So I think that is the only preference. It's not so much from a gameplay perspective, more so just from I get to actually be Gogeta with one, and the other it's he comes in, probably finishes because their active abilities are insane, and then that's that. Gogeta goes by. And as far as final thoughts from using these units for so long now, I love them so much. They feel like an anniversary unit. Like, there is a really crazy power gap between these units and everything that came before. We now on JP do have the Vegeta and Trunks who feel very close to them. I do still think that the year 7 units offer just a little bit more in their kits, but while I will say though, Vegeta and Trunks I do think for harder content will age a little bit better. But that's not to say the year 7 units aren't just insane, because they are truly on another level, and that in my opinion is how anniversary units should feel every year. I mean, this is a gacha game. Power creep is inevitable, and if I'm going for a dual Dokkan Fest, I want them to feel like they are insane. Like, I want to get them and be like, okay, this is a whole new level, not like this is kind of slightly better. No, I want it to feel like I just reached an entire new level of power of my account by acquiring these new units, and that is exactly how you will feel. And I think it's more so than we've seen every year before it. I truly believe the year 7's jump from year 6 to year 7 is bigger than we've ever seen in any year-to-year jump before. So get ready. Best of luck on your summons. Stay tuned for my summons, my gameplay, and everything else. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.